I'm talking about multitasking today because I have been talking to so many women over the last few weeks who are just absolutely, totally overwhelmed with what's going on in life for them, whether it's work life, it's mum life, it's life. So I'm going to talk about multitasking today. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you are challenged with. Do you have a big long to-do list that you just seemingly can't get to the end of? Or are you one of those people who has like a window open on your computer and you just have like a kabillion tabs open? Let me know if that's you. Or are you someone who is constantly doing a lot of things at once? Like you might be making a smoothie and you might be trying to get back to people texting, and then you're wanting to sit outside and have lunch, but you're on the phone and you're just trying to juggle all the balls. If this is you, this soul session today is going to be exactly for you. So I've got Bianca here saying forever multitasking, and the list never ends. Mary is a yes. Bianca is a yes for the tabs. Jennifer is a yes. All right, I feel you guys. So what I wanted to share with you today is that I used to be a gold medalist multitasker. Beck said yes, oh my God, yes, but never actually seemed to achieve anything. Isn't that interesting? Always overwhelmed by my to-do list. I have a huge list right now. Okay, you're gonna love this. So I used to wear the role of multitasker like a badge of honor, and you may relate to this as well. It's kind of like we've made being busy sexy, right? Like when someone says to you, oh my gosh, how are you? Oh, I'm so busy, and it's like this thing that we've put on a pedestal, like it's, I don't know, like we've glorified busyness. And I'm here to squash that today, because busy is not sexy. It's not. And it's not a way to live. It's not something that we should wear like a badge of honor. It's not something we should have a gold medal in, I believe. So I want to share with you a little bit about my small strategy that I use that has helped me to stop multitasking and just to be present in the moment. But before I get into that, I really just want to, I just really want you to be present with me right now. I don't know what you're doing. You might be driving, you might be walking and listening to this, you might be at work on your phone, you might be having a lunch break or a dinner break, or I don't know what you're doing right now, but I want you to stop everything that you're doing and just hone in on this soul session just for today, because this is going to be a very short one today. I just want you to be in the now. I just want you to be present. I just want you to take a big breath in right now with me. And just look at your surroundings. Where are you? Let me know in the comments, because I can't see you, but let me know what you're doing right now. Bianca's at work. I want you to just drop everything. And because we are so on the go 24/7, and because we have these computers and these phones that they literally think faster than our brains, which is very interesting, right? It's like we can never keep up with the computer or the speed of our phones. And our brain is trying to keep up with everything that's moving so fast. We have forgotten that we're human living, we're human beings having an existence on this planet. And rather than being present in the one thing that we're doing every day, we're trying to do it all at once. So what I want you to do for today and for every day moving forward, and particularly this week, thank you, Eka, hey beautiful. I just want you to do everything this week like by itself. I don't want you to, like when you're driving, just drive. Don't try and listen to your emails through Apple Play at the same time and try and reply back. I just want you to drive. I want you to be present in the moment. If you are walking your dog, walk your dog. Be present with your beautiful dog, and rather than, catching up on voice messages or being on the phone with someone, I just want you to walk your dog. If you are doing a task at work, I want you to just focus on that one task and just remove everything else from your realm, your existence. I just want you to do one thing. Because what I realized was my whole way of functioning used to be doing everything at once. And I used to say all the time, oh my gosh, I'm just so busy, I'm just doing 100 things at once. That used to come out of my mouth every single day. And then when I started to just do one thing at a time, I realized that my soul was literally on fire, like it was thriving. And then when I'd accidentally slip and start doing 100 things at once, my soul would contract and it didn't feel good. And so when I started to realize that I felt energetically different when I was rushing and trying to do all these things, I realized that feeling like that was actually making me more overwhelmed, and I was doing everything at 50%. Then when I would do just one thing at a time, I realized I could do that thing 100% and I could do it really well. And I started to show up differently when I showed up 100%. I started to show up differently for my family, for my puppy, for my team, for my clients. The way that I'd show up in my business was so much more productive when I was just focusing on one thing. And it wasn't just because I was 100% focused, but because my soul was literally expanding. So I was showing up at a totally different level of energy to when I was multitasking and contracting and feeling icky, and I could feel tense in my neck and I was overwhelmed and I felt like my adrenals were on go, 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 and my brain just couldn't keep up with everything that I was trying to do. So my message to you today is to just do one thing at a time. Just try it. I literally caught myself not doing one thing at a time before. I was making my smoothie for my lunch break, and while the blender was going, I was like, I'm gonna quickly do an Instagram story about how I'm doing a soul session today on multitasking. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm such a hypocrite. I'm trying to make a smoothie and now I'm trying to do a story. So I'm not perfect. I am catching myself every single day multitasking, but I'm definitely more conscious of it, and I promise the way that I show up and the way that I feel is so much lighter and so much better. So I want to challenge you this week to just do one thing at a time. Now, I have a little task here. I've got my notepad, so I didn't want to stuff this up. I wanted to share this with you, and if you have a notepad and pen, I want you to write this down. This is how I decipher the one thing that I'm doing at a time, okay? So if you don't have a notepad and pen right now, that's okay. I'm going to post the recording of this soul session for you guys. So I want you to just do a big brain dump. I want you to, and I do this every Monday. It's amazing for me. It's like therapy. I'm seriously like a to-do list addict. So this is me, ticking the boxes, crossing things off. That is like I'm a type A personality, so that's just me. Hands up if you know what I mean. So when I do my brain dump, I just write everything out on paper, everything that I can possibly imagine that I need to do. And then I do this next task. It's where I prioritize everything on that list. So the first thing I do is I mark everything that is high importance and high urgency. That is an A. Right? So I just write in the top corner of your notebook, A, and then high urgency, high importance. Then B is high importance, low urgency. So these are things that are really important, but they're not that urgent. Your A items are like, oh my gosh, I need to do this now, and it's really important that I do it now. B is, this is really important, but it's not urgent. I don't need to do it today. I could do it later in the week, or maybe even next week. Then we've got C. C is low importance, high urgency. So this is stuff that's like, I really need to get this done right now, but it's really not going to move the needle. Like, it's not that important, but it's of high urgency. And then D, this is the last one, is low importance, low urgency. So these are things on your to-do list that are not important. They're really like, you're kind of just giving yourself more work to do sort of thing. And they're really not urgent. Like, no one's gonna die if you don't do it, right? Okay, so we've got A, B, C, and D. I want you to go through your entire to-do list and just mark everything with either an A, a B, a C, or a D. This is the fun part, because now all of a sudden you're really crystal clear on what needs to get done now. Like right now. You have to do it now, otherwise the world is going to end. No, I'm joking. I'm being over dramatic, but you know what I mean, right? So like high urgency, high important things. Like this morning, an example for me, when I did my brain dump, I marked everything A, B, C, and D, and then I realized one of the really important urgent things that I had to do today was I had to just wrap a bow on my podcast episode that releases today, because it releases today. It's not releasing tomorrow, it's releasing today. So I was like, well, that's kind of urgent. So that was either going to be an A or a C for me. But then I thought about how important is it? How important is it that I do this task now? And I marked it as an A because I don't like to release podcast episodes sporadically. Like you guys know, we release them every second week on the exact same day. So it was kind of important. Plus, I want to make sure that you guys are having amazing content in your ears. So I was like, this is important for me to serve my audience and my community. So I marked my podcast episode as an A, high urgency, high importance. Got it done. Now, what else was on that list? There were a couple of D's. So there were a couple of low importance, low urgency things. I don't know about you guys, but I always tend to like just put these really dumb things on my list that are not important. They're not urgent, but I always prioritize them before everything else that's really important. And then I get to the end of my day and I'm like, I wasn't productive today. I kind of feel like a failure. I kind of feel like I could have done better today. And then, you end up berating yourself. And so I'm not perfect. I still do this. I still prioritize D items before A, B's, and C items. But when you actually name it a D, there's something really powerful that comes from a D. And yeah, Bianca's like, yes, because they're so easy. Yeah, our brain does this thing where it's like, I'm just going to do this thing over here that's not important and not urgent, and I'm going to do it now because I don't know why. So D stands for delegate or dump. And I love it because I'll either delegate it, so I'll give it to someone to do for me, or I'll dump it, as in like I literally cross it off my list and it's not getting done. I'm not going to do that today or ever again. So I wanted to empower you to delegate and dump things that are on that list. And ways that you can delegate things, like for example, when I started earning a little bit of like steady income in my side business, like I'm talking about $1,000 a month, I actually hired an assistant. I had an assistant when I was earning $1,000 a month to help me with little things in my business that weren't really high paying things for me. So it wasn't a lot. It was kind of like just a little task here and there. I think she did about 4 or 5 hours a week for me. And that was helpful for me because I was now delegating items that I didn't want to do or didn't have to do, but were kind of things that I wanted to have done. So who can you delegate things to? Maybe that's not relevant for you if you're not in business. Maybe it's something like folding the washing. Can you pay someone to fold the washing for you? Can you get a cleaner to come in maybe once a month or once a fortnight or once a week? Who is someone that is really prolific at what it is that task is so that you don't have to do it? And then dumping it is kind of just therapeutic for me. I'm just like, yep, I'm dumping that idea. I'm not even going to entertain it. So what can you delegate and dump? That is my question to you today. After you do your brain dump, after you name everything A, B, C, or D, I want you to do your high urgency, high important things today. I want you to delegate or dump the other things that are a D. But my message today, my number one message was to just do one thing at a time. So what that means is delete all the tabs off your computer. You don't need them open. You can write them on your to-do list if you like, and then, you can mark them as A, B, C, or D. But I just want you to do one thing at a time. And I just want you to, like, when you're picking up the school kids this afternoon, I want you to pick up the school kids. Don't listen to a podcast in the car. Don't try and do your messages. Be present. When you're walking your puppy this afternoon, I want you to just be present. Earth with your puppy, be in nature, take it all in, just be present. When you are talking to someone on the phone, don't check your Instagram or your messages while they're talking. Be present, be 100% there for that person, and show up the way that you would love for others to show up for you, because I promise that you will just feel so amazing when you do it, and your soul will expand, and you just vibrate at a totally different frequency when you show up that way. So I love you guys. Today was short. I promised you that. I hope you do one thing at a time this week. I hope that you love my little A, B, C, or D strategy. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's soul session and how it's helped you. And I want you to promise me one thing and write it in the comments. What is one thing that you're going to be present with today? Pop it in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Mwah! Stop multitasking and enjoy being present. See you guys.